You're welcome back. It is 8:34 here on Off the Ball Breakfast, and we are looking ahead to the Women's FAI Cup final, which is on in Tala this weekend. It is Shells against Athlone Town, and delighted to welcome Pearl Slattery to studio. Pearl, how are you getting on?
Good. Thanks, Mel, for having me.
No, thank you for coming in. And we also have Kellie Brennan from Athlone Town on the line as well. Good morning to you, Kellie.
Hiya, thanks for having me on.
We might just throw one out to you there first, Kellie. What are our preparations like on the Thursday of a cup final week?
It's brilliant. Training this week has been really good. Everyone's very competitive. We're training hard, and we're just looking forward to it.
At what stage does the team get named?
We don't know yet. I'd say it'd be final day. Everyone's still competing, fighting for their spot. So I'd say it'd be Sunday we get the team named.
Does it add a little bit of extra edge to training this week then?
Oh yeah, definitely. Everyone's just training hard, put their head down. We've some young girls in as well. Keep pushing us as well. So it's really good.
Pearl, are you used to this week? What does Thursday and a couple of days out from the game represent for you? Is it tranquility time, or do you actually have to try and get yourself up emotionally at this point?
I think we treat it like any other game week. Obviously, I do say to the girls as well, it's cup final week. Enjoy the build up because they don't come around that often, and you'd hear a lot of people kind of say, treat it as, don't kind of, I suppose, overdo it. But I'd be the opposite. I'd say to the girls, enjoy the build up because they've deserved it. We've worked very hard all season to get there. Enjoy the week, but trying hard. We were training last night. We'll train again Saturday now, and everyone's fighting for their spot. Everybody wants to play cup final day, so it's competitive, and Noel has a few headaches, I'm sure.
That is exactly where you want your manager to be on the build up to a game like this. Do you sense a sense of nervousness around any of the players who might not make the starting 11 then, when you get closer to that team selection day?
I don't think it's nervousness. Myself as captain now, I'd be more worried about how they are, and obviously only 11 people can play, and there's going to be a group of girls there that will be disappointed. But as I've said all year, we're nothing without the squad. The 11 obviously that start the final is great, but I'm sure there'll be girls who will come on and help, and some girls who won't, but they've helped us through the year. So it's just keeping everybody together, and we give everything, I suppose, to try to bring the cup back on Sunday. So it's that togetherness, whether you play or not. And in fairness, we have a great group, brilliant girls, and I've no worries about that, thank God.
Yeah, you have quite a mix of a group with youth and experience, which I'm sure is good to have as well.
Yeah, we do, and the experience helps in cup final days. But I also think, the opposite, that the young girls are kind of fearless, and that kind of feeds into us as well. And look, as I said to the girls all along, it's been a hell of a long season, and I suppose every time you get your fixtures, you put that cup final date in, you hope that you're playing in the cup final because it's such a good occasion. So we're just delighted to be there again, and as I said, we'll enjoy this week, but as soon as you get to Tallaght Stadium, you're out on the pitch warming up, it's just another game for us, and we're fully focused, and I think we're very good at doing that kind of no external factors once you get to Tallaght and you're focused on the game.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be the 5th time you meet this season. What are their gang like to play against?
Tough. Yeah, it is our 5th time actually. We played each other a lot. Got each other in the President's Cup and the new cup in terms of the World Cup that time, and then we played each other twice in the league. So tough. There's some great individuals, and I think we know each other now at this stage. We know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and look, I think for the league overall, it's going to be a competitive game, and that's what you want. Even the games we played this season, there's been 1 or 2 goals in it, there's been nothing in it, and it could swing either way. So that's what you want for a Women's Premier Division Cup final and the mutuals, and that will be watching the game. You want a competitive final, and I think everybody will get that. 2 great teams.
It has been close in your meetings so far this season, Kellie. How much does the fact that you're still waiting to get a win in normal time against this team, how much does that motivate you this week?
Yeah, no, it definitely motivates us. It's been very tough playing against them. It's been very tight. So definitely, I give us an edge. Try and get them in on the final day.
Could you talk us through a little bit about Kieran Kilduff and his style and what he's brought to proceedings? What's his philosophy in football, and what type of football are you guys playing?
Since he's come in, he's been excellent. He's kind of shared with us his experience in the men's division and what it's like to play in a cup final for him. But his style of football, is get it down, pass it around, keep possession, just never give up and all that kind of stuff like that. So it's been like what we're used to. It was kind of like kicking the ball long and all that. But since he's come in, it's kind of like play around the midfield, get out wide and keep possession really.
It's a significant enough style of change of style, I should say. How easy is that to make happen over the course of a single season? Is it something that you take to very easily, or are you still finding your feet with regards to his style?
No, I think we kind of adapted really quick to it. We've been training a lot on it. So once he came in, we've worked on it over the past few months, and I think we've done really well so far on it. And then it's only going to grow anyway, since if he keeps being the manager and stuff like that.
Like, is it a complete change on every level of how you prepare? Is it like totally different drills that you would do during training weeks, or what are the changes like? Because it's quite common now for teams to try and make that change from being less direct to being more of a passing team, to try and get the ball through the lines rather than just going route one all the time. So does it change everything, or is your training systems and all that completely different now?
Oh yeah, they are definitely different now. There's more like passing drills, like tactics, how to break down teams from the front and up top and at the back. So it's definitely changed from what we're used to.
And for you then, Perla, it would be Noel King, the veteran within football. He's going to step away after the game. Obviously, he's hoping to go out on a high. Is he definitely going to step away?
I think so. That's what we're hearing. But in terms of now, like, he's had a brilliant 3 years with us. He brought silverware back 3 years ago. We won the league. We're in a cup final, which didn't go our way. Last year we won the double, and this year the league got a bit away from us. But to be in another cup final, I think speaks volumes of him. And I think for us, as a group of players, we'd love to, I suppose, end his time with us with a cup win. That'd be a nice way to say thanks and kind of have the celebrations with him. But we know it's not going to be easy either. And Noel's well aware of that. And look, we've been training hard, and he's been great. He's mad.
Yeah, and for you, like from when you started out to now, I'm sure you've seen a serious growth within the league and within women's football as a whole.
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, I think my first ever FAI Cup final was, basically in a local park, and then we moved to the Aviva, which was huge, and now we're kind of in the home of women's football, as they call it, at a stadium. I think we'd like 5,000 at the cup final last year, which was brilliant. Like the atmosphere was something else, and you're hoping, and I'd ask anyone who's around just to get to the game and support the league, because we keep, you need to keep building on that and not just kind of taking it for granted now that's going to happen. And I think we see him with the World Cup and what that's done for the country, and hopefully that can feed down now into the league.
Do you feel that at the minute that there's maybe a little bit more of a buzz? And obviously you're working as well as a development officer, with the FAI. Do you feel that there's more girls playing and staying playing?
Oh, definitely. I think, even in terms of the FAI a few years ago, we had a lot of focus on participation programmes, and we still do, but we naturally find a lot of girls now are going to clubs. So for us now, it's helping the clubs kind of cater for that. That, like you said, the girls stay in the game. So that's massive for us, and it's a massive piece in terms of education and educating the coaches, the volunteers, the parents. That will help the girls stay in the game. So we are finding the girls are getting to clubs now, but it's important that we keep them in the game. And I've definitely seen that buzz around the country since the World Cup, and even in the league. I think the league is going from strength to strength every year, and the last 2 years we've had very exciting finishes. Even this year, the coverage again with TG Carr and stuff like that is only going to help, and obviously the final being live on RTA. But again, I'd stress everyone, if they can, get out to the game and support us and get a good atmosphere for both teams. Yeah.
And Kelly, for you, what was it like growing up? Like, did you have a local girls team, or what's your story?
Well, I started out playing with the local boys team, so I played with them till about under 12s, and I moved on then to like the Galway underage, and I moved up through the ranks there, and then around when I went on senior level, then I moved to Athlone.
Do you think playing with the lads growing up maybe helped?
Oh yeah, definitely. Playing with lads, it's always tough. I have two brothers as well. One is a twin, and then my older brother. So it was hard. I was always out in the back garden playing with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Will that die out now that there's so many girls teams now? Like, growing up there was never any girls team. It was always playing with the lads, and I think majority of players always say it does help them. Will that die out now that there's girls teams, which is great that there's such young underage teams too? Yeah,
I think it depends on the individual. A lot, some girls might prefer just to play with girls, but there's a lot of girls who want to challenge themselves and stuff. And when you look at international teams and selection teams around the country, they would advise, if you can, play with local boys team, because the speed, everything is just a lot different. So I think, look, it depends on the individual, but I'd be similar to Kelly. Like, I played, growing up playing with boys team in the winter and the girls in the summer, and it helped me massively. So again, it depends on the club, depends on the individual, but it definitely is still advised to do so.
What age can you play up to now?
I think it's, when I was growing up, it was like 40, and I was doing everything to stay with the boys, but they're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And for my safety, I had to kind of step away. But I think it's 12 or 13. It's probably changes all the time. But look, I think any girl if you can play and compete with the boys for as much as you can, it'll only help them going forward in their development.
And is that the case now? The best young players coming through have been playing as late as possible with the boys, or is it a bit of a mixed bag?
I still think it's a bit of a mixed bag, but as I said, some girls just want to play with girls, and that's fine. Like, it depends on the individual. A lot of the girls love, competing with the boys because they know what they're going to get. That's your ultimate test. Even us as a group in pre-season, we'd play against a few of the younger boys teams, 13 and 14s, because they're still absolutely massive. They're like grown men at times towards us, but just in terms of speed of play and competitiveness, it's more so your fitness off the ball and stuff that you'll gain. So for pre-season, that's been ideal for us. So I think a lot of teams still do that.
There is one young player I did want to ask you about on your own team, Hannah Healey, the youngest ever Champions League footballer, the age of 15 years and 263 days, absolutely remarkable. She obviously came through the Shells Academy, right? Can you talk, first of all, just about her as a player? What sort of player is she?
She's amazing. Hannah is... I remember Hannah, I used to coach at the Emerging Talent, and I'd seen Hannah growing up, and you could tell from early on that she was going to be a top player, and obviously delighted then she was playing at Shells, and she'd been with her 17s and really successful for them over the years, and she's been up with us the last year or two, and she's just phenomenal. She can play in the 10, she can play anywhere. She played in the 9 in the semi-final against Rovers, and she was playing against two very experienced centre halves that day, and I thought she just did amazing. Like, nothing phases her, and that I was saying to you earlier, like, some of the girls help us with their fearlessness. Hannah just goes out and plays, and even since she's been up training with us, no difference at all. You wouldn't know she's 15, 16. You'd feel like she's like a senior player the way she plays the game. Even last night, like a goal she scored, you're thinking she's been unplayable at times, but she's a brilliant person as well. Great family behind her, good support, but she's humble. At her age, playing so young, the Champions League, underage international, everything going right for her. But she's very humble, very grounded. She's been amazing to watch, and she played against Cork last weekend, and anytime she's played for us, to be honest, she's been exceptional. She's her technical ability, her closing down, her athleticism, all that. It's just been a joy to watch, really, and I think she's going to go on to great things.
You'll obviously be too modest to give your own role in the Emerging Talent Programme and what you've done with Hannah in particular, but say if we talk more vaguely about what that programme does for a young footballer of that talent, it does seem as if the systems are in place to ensure that a talent like that doesn't slip between the fingers at this point. So what does happen, is it, like, especially in terms of that human element of a player who's coming through that programme, what are you doing with a player like this talent to ensure that the human and the person is going to get to that professional level?
Yeah, I've been on the Emerging Talent for 7 or 8 years. The last few years I haven't, just because like job titles changed and so on, but it's kind of person first. Like, they're young kids coming into that programme. First of all, they're delighted to come in because not everybody gets selected to be on Emerging Talent, but it's treating them the life skills first of all as a youngster, and I suppose giving them that freedom to express themselves. I think there could be a lot of pressure on young kids nowadays, especially when they're up and coming and everyone's kind of telling them you're the next big thing. So it's just keeping them grounded, and I think with young girls as well, we're awful doubters and stuff, so it's just filling into their heads that, look, you deserve to be here, and then you kind of see them express themselves on the pitch, and they're playing against some very good talented players. James Scott now looks after that programme, and he has it well versed for the players to do well, and like you said, it's in different parts of the country now. It's well looked after by James. He does a lot of work with the staff around the country, that like the likes of Hannah, or if there is other young talented players around the country that programme is there and they're not slipped or lost to other sports, that we can get them in earlier to those programmes that are going to help them develop and go into international teams or play League of Ireland or even go beyond. And that's, I suppose, a thing I've said to a lot of young girls. I'm probably the later stage of my career, nearly envy the opportunities they have, the education, the resources they have. Growing up, I had nothing like that in terms of what's on offer for them. If they want to play international, if they want to play League of Ireland now, the grounds they're playing in, or have you seen a lot of the girls go abroad to England and Scotland? Those opportunities are there for young girls, and it's the fact that they see that now on TV or watching, Air Games or WSL or whatever it might be. It's the opportunity is mental now for a young female player, and the likes of myself, the older crew, we probably envy the girls, and you try to say to them, look, don't let that pass you by, it's there in front of you. Like,
yeah, did you feel that, Kelly, growing up, did you think there was these opportunities out there, or maybe now when we're seeing Ireland qualifying for a World Cup and the girls playing in WSL, could you see that growing up yourself, that there was those opportunities?
Yeah, I could see it, growing up. There's different pathways we can go to. A lot of players now are kind of growing up in the academies in Ireland and then kind of getting opportunities to go over to England. So it's quite refreshing to see that as well.
Yeah, I think it's important to see that, Pearl, like that there is, development there is opportunities, and as you said, if there's young players coming through that, it's possible. Like you've seen other girls do it now. There's so many of the Ireland players play in the WSL, so it's about seeing it and knowing it is possible.
Definitely. I think that piece about seeing it is the big thing. As I said, us growing up probably didn't have that. And now it's everywhere. The education that's behind it, the resources, as I said, the level they're playing at, the grounds they're playing at, the education around nutrition, S&C, all that stuff was probably just not around or coming into its early stages when we were youngsters. And, all that sort of stuff is massive, especially when you are young. The younger you get into it, the better you'll have, a better chance of development. So there's a little bit of envy there, but it's great to see the girls have those opportunities to see what's possible, and that, as a female player, you can go and do well and have, I suppose, a career in the game.
Absolutely. There is just one other player in this final that I wanted to ask you about, Kelly. Dana Sheriff. She's obviously come over from the States, born in New York, I think, and hoping to play for Ireland in the future. She's hoping to get her passport. Golden Boot winner this year. How good has she been?
I know she's been excellent this year. She had like a bad injury last year with her ankle. So she came back from that this year, and she's really pushed herself hard, training hard, and we've all helped her, come back from that injury. And she just excelled, getting goals after goals each week. And she's got a lot of confidence as well. What's
it like playing with somebody of that quality?
I know it's really good. So I'm defending against her, so we have to try and keep her out. But she's technically good, fast feet and stuff like that. So hopefully she can keep her goal scoring for Sunday.
How much does going for the first one motivate you for Sunday?
I know it has to motivate you, we're really excited. We won't let it get to us either. It's going to be a big occasion for us all. But we're definitely really want to try and get the first one anyway.
Very best of luck, Kelly. Thanks a million for taking the call.
Thank you.
That's Kellie Brennan there on the line from Athlone Town. Just one last one to you, Pearl. What's it like to score in a cup final?
Yeah, it's a bit mad actually. I was asked that during the week. To be honest, I have forgot that I've scored last year, and even straight after the game, people were saying, "Jesus, you scored" and stuff like that. It was something that I probably didn't think about at the defender's head. That's on me. I was probably more happy with the clean sheet and just winning the game. And I always kind of say to the girls, look, don't care who scores, just score, win the game, and I'm happy. But it was, when I look back and I've watched the game, and you kind of think, Jesus, I actually did score, we won, and that was a double year as well, which was nice. But yeah, sometimes I do genuinely forget that I actually have scored. But the clean sheet, as I said, as a back four, as a team, is probably something else I take pride in more so than a goal.
Yeah, you've had some journey. Are you enjoying it as much as ever?
Yeah, definitely. The way the game is going as well, it kind of makes you want to stay in it as much as possible. So yeah, look, as I said, some of the young girls keep me young. We have an experienced group, we have a middle group, and I always feel if I'm competing with them, then I'm doing all right. So yeah, I'm still loving it. Probably loving it even more so the last few years, just the coverage and everything around the league. It's been brilliant to see, and long may it continue, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff. Well, it's Tala on Sunday, and their tickets still available online. Everybody should get down there if they possibly can. Best of luck, Pearl. Thanks a million for coming in. Right, a reminder, you can listen back to all of our GAA soccer and rugby content from The Breakfast Show by becoming an OTB member at offtheball.com/join. You can join in the obsession for only $9.99 a month. That's €2.50 for more than 50 hours of podcasts or videos per week.